In this video, we're going to look at an example of computing some various powers of I. So this one asks us to compute I to the 9th, I to the 28th, and I to the 47th. We're going to go through this painstakingly, but remember that you could just divide these exponents by 4 and look at the remainders, and then look at the pattern that we have for the remainder. So recall that I to the first is I squared is -1, I cubed is -I, and I to the 4th is 1. So if we want to rewrite I to the 9th, I can rewrite that 9 as an 8 plus a 1. That's I to the 8th times I to the 1st. I to the 8th, if we do a little simplifying, is 1. So we have 1 times I, which gives you I. This is a little bit more involved than what we need to do. Any multiple of 4 on your exponent is always going to give you a 1 for that I to that power. Let's look at I to the 28th. 28 is 4 times 7. You can rewrite that as I to the 4th times 7. Again, this is a multiple of 4. Anytime you get I to a multiple of 4 power, you always get 1. Finally, if we want to do I to the 47th, 47 is 44 plus 3. Break that up. I get an I to the 4th to the 11th for this one. Again, I to a multiple of 4 is always 1. So this simplifies to I cubed, but we know that I cubed is the same thing as -I, so you end up with -I. Notice again, we could have done this with remainders. If I divide 47 by 4, I get a remainder of 3, so it's the same thing as I cubed. If I divide 28 by 4, I get a remainder of 0, so it's the same thing as 1. And if I divide 9 by 4, I get a remainder of 1, so I get the same thing as I.